All right, welcome to Drew and Pryce's Top 5 Sports Podcast. And of course, I'm accompanied by
Drew Akins.
and today we will be going over the top 5 best sports games of all time. And if you would like, Drew, would you start it off for us?
Of course. With number 5, I have WWE Smackdown. This is a game I used to play when I was younger on the Xbox 360 back in the day, and got into some good matches with my dad. Always coming up with the win, and my main man Rey Mysterio always came in clutch for me.
I love that little dude Rey Mysterio too, baby. All right, at my number 5 is Madden 20. I love playing that game. Has some great game modes like Superstar KO, The Yard, and just other fun like franchise. You could play that with a bunch of friends, try to build the best team and win the Super Bowl, and it was just fun all around.
Yeah, I have to say, got to some pretty good matches in that. Tight end attack, what's your
Tight
thing?
end attack, baby.
At number 4, I have Mario Kart. Mario Kart is an old classic, had it on the 360 and then on the DS. The game, just getting all the bananas and throwing them out and all those different things.
Was a great game. Hitting the mystery boxes.
Yes, exactly.
All right. For
On to you.
my number 4, I have Connect Adventures. I would play it all the time at my grandma's house with my family and friends that would go there with me, and we'd always play a canoe one where you'd have to like hit ramps and dip, dive, and dodge everything, and it was just always family fun.
Yeah, I'd say that game is pretty outstanding.
Mm-hmm.
Coming in at number 3 on the list, I have Madden 21. That's just one of my favorite games. Me and Pryce and some other friends would play some franchises in the yard. We used to get into some pretty heated matchups in the yard.
Yeah, the yard was goated.
Yeah. So on to you, number 3.
All right, for my number 3, we have Wii Sports Resort. It was probably the best Wii game of all time. I'm pretty sure it was the top seller on the Wii. I'm pretty sure if you had a Wii, you had this game. It was a great game. It had a lot of different sports you could play: tennis, basketball. You could sword fight, a lot of stuff, and it was always a great competition between people who you played it with. All right, Drew.
Alrighty, second on the list, we have NBA 2K13.
Great game.
That game has one of my favorite songs on it, and just has an overall great soundtrack, and it's just a great game. Playing the seasons on there, it was a great time. And one of my favorite things about it is, in the playoffs, you could do this thing, and it was just 16 teams, and I was Oklahoma City Thunder, and after the first round, I got Michael Jordan and Clyde Drexler on my team, and it was Westbrook and KD and all those guys. And if you didn't imagine, we won the chip.
Of course. All right, for my second favorite game, I got the classic FIFA 17. And the game, it had my ups and downs with it. I broke 3 chairs because of it. There was a guy named Aubameyang, and he had a 99 speed. He would blow past my whole team and score every goal. And I didn't really win any matches in it because it was my first FIFA, but I loved playing it, and it led me on to play FIFA 21 and FIFA 22 right now.
Okay, very good. And last on the list, I have NBA Jam. The game is one of the most fun basketball games of all time. It's a 2-on-2 basketball game. It was back on the Xbox 360, and basically, it's two like big players on like a small court, and you can dunk on people like crazy. And whenever you make, I think it's 3 in a row, the net would go on fire, and it was just unstoppable unless you got blocked. So had many great memories on that. So on to you, Pryce, for the last one.
All right, my number one is 2K13. It was a video game I had the most fun with ever. The soundtrack, best soundtrack in any game,
Amen.
I'd say. I'd always use the Spurs, and I'd always just do play now against my dad, and it was just always a great time. There's nothing really bad about that game.
And that's all we have today for you guys. And so thank you for listening to Drew and Pryce's Top 5 Sports Podcast. And away we go.
Adios.
Here we are back at Drew and Pryce's Top 5 Sports Podcast. And today we will be going over the top 5 sports movies of all time. So start us off with
All right.
your list.
Number 5, I have Real Steel. It's a great fighting movie. Basically shows you to never get up when you get knocked down. Come back harder, And all around, I just think if you want to see a good movie, watch Real Steel.
Okay, I'll have to add that one to the list sometime. Number 5 on my list is The Sandlot. I mean, you just really can't go wrong with The Sandlot. So, it's a baseball movie, and it has this big dog, and at the field that they play on, there's a fence, and there's a big dog behind the fence, and once they hit the ball over the fence for home runs, there's no getting it back, and they all know that. So,
All right, my number 4, it's also The Sandlot, and I would like to add on that at the very end of the movie, they did get the ball back with the one guy. He went over there, he got the ball, and the Baby Ruth ball, the Holy Grail. All right, so on to you, Drew.
my number 4, I have The Game Plan. The Rock is in it, so can't really ever go wrong with The Rock in a movie. It's a very good all-around movie. It's about football, and it's this guy who's so selfish around him winning Heisman and stuff. That was all he brags about. And his daughter, he's letting all his awards get in the way of his daughter, and then he finally comes to realize that his daughter is more important than all his trophies. So,
All right, for my number 3 spot, I have Dodgeball. If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. Chuck Norris, all those people. It's a great, funny movie if you want to, spend time with family and you don't know what movie to put on. I'd always recommend that movie if people in your family haven't seen it. It'll give them a good old chuckle and, a good old jolly good time.
yeah, you have to agree with that. Third on the list, I have Thunderstruck. It's a movie with Kevin Durant in it. He's a very good basketball player. He's probably the best. And this kid gets his powers and stuff, and is amazing. It's really good, and he is horrible before, and then his team is so surprised by him because he was the water boy for the team, and he comes out and just superb all around game. And then he ends up having to give his powers back, so it's very sad.
Yep. Number 2, another comedy sports movie, Happy Gilmore. Adam Sandler, probably the best actor of all time, in my opinion. Every movie he's in, it's just always a great movie. It's always funny, and, when he nukes it 400 yards for his first time ever playing with that run-up swing he has, it's just great movie, winning for his grandma and everything, just awesome movie.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. And number 2 on the list, we have Uncle Drew. It's a very, very funny movie. it has all of great basketball players who are old, and they show up to the Rucker Park and just kick everyone's butt. Such like Uncle Drew and Nate Robinson, Shaq, Chris Webber, and Candace Parker. And it all comes down to the final shot for them to win. And Lil Kev knocks it down and gives their team the win over the guy who blocked him back when he was younger. So,
All right, or should I say, for my number one spot, we have another comedy sports movie, Benchwarmers. I just think it's probably the best or the funniest sports movie of all time. When the guy ran over the dog with the lawnmower, shaved half of him off, I always died laughing at that part. I'm pretty sure every kid has seen Benchwarmers. And then when all the kids that were bullied as little childs came out and started playing and they won, it was just great moment and cheered everyone up.
alrighty. And last but not least, for my number one, I'm going to have to go with Trouble with the Curb. It's a very good movie. Justin Timberlake is in it, and it's about this team, and they bring in this pitcher who is not even like on a team. He's just throwing, and he ends up striking out this hotshot guy who acts like he's big time, and he doesn't have much to say after that. So, yeah. So.
All right, well, thank you for tuning in to Drew and Pryce's Top 5 Sports Podcast. This episode was filled with great recommendations for sports movies that you and your family should watch. And see you guys later.
Adios.